Hello, Millwall fans. Paul Eiffel here. It's time for Chat with Chaps.
Post-match Chat with Chaps, where it's just finished at the Den. Millwall 3, Norwich City 1. And it's not on, is it? It's not still a possibility. All the results went our way today, and another great 3 points. That's 4 wins at home on the bounce. We seem to have turned a corner at home. And look, it's still possible. It's still possible, everyone. Just trying to keep the excitement and keep myself grounded after today. It's just means you go into the Swansea game with something to play for, right? And Burnley, I think, have just taken the lead as I record this against Sheffield United. So maybe they'd be up by the last game of the season, and Zian will have a word with his new teammates. Who knows? Anyway, look, let's get into it. But first and foremost, please, if you've not already, give us a like. Share, subscribe, tell your friends, whatever you need to do. But we really appreciate it as always. Channel's growing really nicely, and obviously everything we do goes to Cancer Research UK this season. And lots of exciting things to come. Also, just want to say off the bat, absolute pleasure after the game to meet Joe, and then to meet Jamie and your little ones, Summer, Sunny, and Albert. So nice to meet you all. Always is great to chat to people that for some reason listen to me. So thank you very much. It's always much appreciated. Okay, so look, really disappointing game, wasn't it, against Blackburn? Disappointing performance. It just felt like Groundhog Day against Blackburn, didn't it? And it was, could we bounce back? And it was always going to be an incredibly slim chance, no matter what happened with the results today. But, there was a kind of glimmer of an opportunity still, wasn't there, going into today's game? And then you see the team news, right? And again, 2 more injuries. So Billy Mitchell, George Honeyman now ruled out until the end of the season. Obviously, the news has now been shared that Lucas Jensen has ruptured his Achilles. So wish him well. So that's a nasty injury, that. And I don't know how much that impacts a goalkeeper in terms of course, he's out for 9 months. But the point is, does certain injuries, you're never the same player. And I just hope that's certainly not the case for him, because he was really starting to find some good form. So hopefully, it's going to be a long road to recovery, but hopefully he will be okay. Obviously, the club certainly need to look at a goalkeeper over the summer in that case. So young George Evans starts in goal today. Back 4, 2 changes. 2 changes. So right back, Crammer. Again, love the agility for him to just be like, right, I trust Crammer again at right back. Tanganga comes back into the side. Cooper, obviously his partner. And then Zach Sturge out of nowhere. Obviously, it was rumoured that Tanganga could be involved today, but Sturge with a start. And I'll say off the bat, I thought he was very, very good today, Zach Sturge, considering he hasn't really played much football at all. So he was good. Obviously, Casper Denor, no Billy Mitchell, so George Saville partnering him. Luke Cundle on the right-hand side, Femi Aziz on the left, and then the 2 lads up top. Interestingly for Norwich, Angus Gunn, their first-choice goalkeeper, out due to his partner expecting a baby. George Long, was he injured or did he have the Millwall flu? I don't know. But they went with their 21-year-old goalkeeper. So both sides fielding young goalkeepers. Vicente Reyes. How's that for your Spanish? I think he's actually American. But he started in goal. And look, Norwich, on paper, they're a good side. They are, ball your signs. Nunes in the middle. Kenny McLean at this level, still a decent player. Josh Sargent, for me, is probably the best number 9 in the league. We've got one, it's not too bad of our own, have we? But good players. But I always felt that, considering their result, they got battered. Well, it was 5-3 in the end, but I think Portsmouth were 5-2 up at one point. In the last game, I felt if we really was just to give it our all and just outfight them, that we could win today. And that's ultimately what happened. Obviously, we're going to get into it, but for me personally, and for any Norwich fans listen to this, I thought the lack of effort from some of your players was embarrassing. And I think if we were, and I'm not discrediting us, but I think if we were a better side, or we had players that were, fitter and given obviously the Easter period, obviously it works both ways. I think a better side score 5-6, and in fairness, we had opportunities at times to do that as well. So, yeah, Norwich really poor. One of the worst out of possession and defensive sides I have seen in a long time down the Den, and that's saying something. It must be said. However, so the game kicks off, and I think that they had the first sort of 5 minutes, but then we have a good chance on 8 minutes, and of course that is when we take the lead. So it's our first chance of the game. The ball's played out wide to Aziz. He's got a ton of space. He puts a great ball in, and then it sort of hits Ivanovic. Yes, it does hit him, but at the same time, he has to sort of shape his body to get it to go towards that direction. So did he know about it? Did he not? I don't know, but you've got to give him credit for the way that he's in the right place at the right time, right? And we go 1-0 up, and that set the tone. I think if we hadn't have got that early goal, I think it could have got a little bit hasty, because I felt that Norwich on the break, they looked like a decent side, but they just looked so poor from a defensive perspective. We go close on 12 again, where a Sav corner gets recycled with a great tackle from Tanganga. Ball comes into the box, and we go close again. 18 minutes, the ball's played over the top. It's just a simple ball over the top. Don't know why Ivanovic stops here. Opportunity for him to go in and to potentially, try and round the keeper or something. But he stops there. Speaking of stop, I've got my notes here. And by the way, I am recording this as soon as I get home. And I've got to keep this quick because I've actually got a work meeting that I need to go jump on very soon. But I've lost my trail of thought. What was I saying? See? The ref stopping the game constantly. And there was one at the heart on obviously their goal. I'll talk about it and their goal. But I thought the referee again, I'm not saying that he got loads wrong, but he just stopped the game way too much. Anyway, Sargent on 31. I think he has an half decent opportunity. Kundal does well on 33, but Aziz kind of gets it wrong. It goes into the stands. But then 5 minutes later, Aziz gets it absolutely right. And then this is a superb ball into the box from Sav. And again, I thought Sav was great again today. Sav was great at what he does, which is just trying to control the pace in the middle, being in players' faces, putting tackles in, getting around the pitch. And I thought his set pieces were excellent today. Ball comes into the box. We're queuing up. Again, so poor defensively from Norwich. Aziz gets the glancing header. And, we go 2-0 up. Straight after that, ball's played down the box, and Cooper and Sargent are tussling. And thankfully, it comes to nothing. But you just felt it would be such a Millwall thing, wouldn't it? Given obviously what happened at Blackburn, to just concede straight away. Thankfully, we didn't. And I think it went for a corner, and it comes to nothing. Nearly moment again for us, half moment with Kundal on 44. But the keeper comes out and smothers it. I think it was a ball that was played into the box by Kramer, possibly. Sturge, I've noted down, good tackle on 45 +1. Now, what happens here is, now the referee gives 3 minutes added on time. Was it 3 or 4? Can't remember. Anyway, and he, first point, he only gives that because he's stopping the game all the time unnecessarily. That's the first point. The second point is he stops the ball when Norwich are actually breaking. They then get a free kick. The free kick is a poor one. This is probably the only mistake Tango made all game. And what he does is he heads it out for a corner. Obviously, he's obviously not judged the fact that the flight of the ball means it's going to go out already. Maybe he's not got a call from the keeper. No one said anything, so it goes for a corner. And again, I haven't seen any of the goals back, right? But again, it felt that we were undone by set piece. And that's concerning because people used to say that we didn't score enough from set pieces, but we didn't concede a lot. And since Adam Barrett's gone, we do seem, I wish I had the stat, but I feel like we concede a lot of set piece goals. And, we've got a physical presence over most sides. Maybe not Norwich. They've got a couple of big lads in there with, Duffy and Sargent, but really poor to concede. Obviously, Tango getting that wrong there. I think it's Coburn was the person marking or has an opportunity to clear it. I don't know. Again, don't quote me because I've not seen anything back and I'm literally spitballing here. I haven't seen any interviews or anything like that whatsoever. But it's the worst time to concede because this is the it's the last kick of the first half, right? It's the last kick of the first half, and real sort of sucker punch going into that halftime whistle. But again, this is where you've got to give the lads, as much as I'll say that the performance of Blackburn was poor, you've got to give the lads credit for the performance today, because the effort was, and there's so many players going down, like stretching their legs, and they're all blowing out their arse, and they're blowing their arse because they can half put a shift in today. They really, really did. Norwich, for how poor they were defensively, on the transition, they got a lot of good forward attacking players that are athletic. And, you know, we know that some of our strength certainly isn't in athleticism, particularly in the centre of the park. So you've got to give them credit, and particularly to concede that goal so late in the first half, and then of course what they did there. So massive credit to the players there for coming out and obviously winning the game 3-1. But there's a lot to go before then. So second half starts. By the way, I want to say a nice. It's good to see you today, Richie, mate. It's been a while, so nice to see you as well. The pleasure of talking to you throughout the game. So nice to see you, mate. Maisie run from Tango on 48, ends up with a shot from distance. Tango loves going on a little Maisie run, doesn't he? 50, some really nice link-up play between Ivanovic and Aziz. It was sort of an unlucky moment. I think they cut it out. And when again, 55, Kundal, an unreal block from McLean. Really good work from, actually, I think this might be the same chance, apologies, from Aziz and Ivanovic. And a real vital block from McLean, just as Kundal was about to pull the trigger. I thought Kundal was better today. The Sicilian Godfather sent his post-match thoughts in our group chat. I said to him, he needs to come on and do this. One of the things he highlighted was just his tenacity today. He was like a little bit more of the honeymoon role, and I like that from Kundal. So fair play to him, especially playing that position on the right-hand side. A good ball in on 57, and I think Kramer was just wide. I think it was a header. And then on 60, I just felt we needed that goal. And there was a couple of tackles where, again, the players throwing their body line, Aziz, Coburn, and got the crowd up on 60 minutes. Then they make their substitutions. And at that point, with their subs, I felt we started to look a little bit leggy. And I've taken a note here that on 65, I wrote down that Alex Neil has got so much right in terms of substitutions. But what does he do here? Does he stick or does he twist? Because he doesn't have too many options on the bench that, you know, Leonard's probably the only one. Wintle hadn't played many minutes. Langstaff is still coming back to fitness, and obviously he's a slightly different option. Imaku, could he really be trusted to do the defensive work? So I felt a little bit for Alex Neil, but of course he goes on to get it right because we win the game 3-1. But on 65, we do score. An offside header from another great ball in, I think, again, from Sav. Was it offside? I don't know. I haven't seen it back, but a couple of lads that weren't there today, Disco, etc., said that he wasn't offside, but Kramer was. So I don't really think that should have been given, but, you know, is what it is. We don't have to worry about that now. Another great bit defending from them, Duffy, a great interception after some really nice link-up play. I was really impressed, actually, between the link-up between Sturge and Aziz. Down that left-hand side, 68 minutes, inch-perfect ball from Aziz to Sturge, who overlapping run, and Duffy just sticks his leg out as Ivanovic was just about to take a shot. God, what I'm doing here. Then from that corner, though, we get the third goal, and it's a super header from Ivanovic. Perfect, right into the corner, inch perfect. 69 minutes, we're 3-1 up. Great delivery again from Sav, and that's the 8th goal that Norwich have conceded in 2 games. I think they've only won 2 games in 14. Norwich, really poor. They're going to have a big transition in the summer. They've got a lot of players going. I can tell you now, Josh Sargent certainly won't be in that side. I'll be surprised if he's not playing in the Premier League. On 71 minutes, a great ball in. A great ball through the line for Aziz as Norwich are pushing forward. Coburn, he looks knackered at this point, but he somehow manages to sort his feet out, cut the ball back across to Denor. Denor, I'm screaming at him here. Ivanovic is wide open. He's on for his hat-trick, but he obviously doesn't see him, and he blazes it. I think he blazes it over the bar, or it gets blocked. I can't remember. But if he'd have just looked up, that would have been game, set, and match 4-1. So yeah, that was a real moment for us. But 74 minutes they go down the end, and Sargent's inches away from making a connection from a ball that was played across the face of goal. And then this is where, to me, Norwich were just awful. I mean, we're Olaying, and we got beat 4-1 in our last game, and we're Olaying against the Norwich side that is expensively assembled, former Premier League. So I don't care what anyone says. They got a lot of good players. And I think there was about 3 minutes where they didn't touch the ball, and it didn't even look like they were trying to. Really, really poor from a Norwich standpoint. Then McLean goes in late on Kundal. And I've got to say, what I don't like here is that's McLean. He's their captain, right? Cooper, McLean is giving it lows and getting in Kundal's face. Cooper has got to be going up there and giving it back to McLean. I don't like that. I know it's only a minor thing. Didn't change the course of the game, but I want to see that a little bit more from Cooper. If it's not Cooper, then it's got to be Sav. But it's your responsibility as a captain. If their captain's giving it, you need to go in and give it a little bit more as well. Denor comes off. Wintle comes on. Wintle played a really good ball on 85, by the way. George Evans comes out, and I think on 84, I don't know if it was the punch or the catch, but I wanted to note that because he's come into a real baptism of fire, young lad. And I actually thought last 10 minutes, he made some valuable contributions. I do want to just touch on something here. And this is the difference between the two sides, right? They had a very young keeper starting. They did not protect him at all, the defence. And what they did is still fanning around with it at the back and played him loads of, back passes, and constantly were trying to play out from the back. And they did not defend him. Whereas for us, I felt today we did exactly what we should have done at Blackburn: restricted shots, restricted corners, and then if we had to play it back to him, it was a last resort and just get him to clear it. That is a difference. When you've got a young, inexperienced goalkeeper, that's how you need to manage it. And I felt the defence today did a very good job of protecting George Evans, which is all that can be really expected. 85, 86, I felt everyone was knackered, to be honest. Ivanovic goes off to a standing ovation. And then in the sort of 90 plus minutes, I was glad we had the third goal, because it was a bit of a nervy moment here. I think Sturge was down. He ended up coming off, so I really hope he's okay. Cooper gets done, and then the ball comes across goal, and Tango almost puts it in his own net, but he doesn't. They then have a couple of corners. There's lots of drama. Shirts being ripped. A few people have said that Cooper was a little bit lucky, but probably only cancels out the other goal we should have stood anyway. So we win the game 3-1. Every single result that could have gone our way did. And we've got to win the next two games, and we need to be the only side that have done the double over Burnley all season. But you know what? We still win with a chance. And four home wins on the spin, and we're playing Swansea, I think. Have they won 5 in a row? I mean, they're a very informed side, Swansea, under Alan Sheehan. So it's going to be a big game next Saturday, and I can't wait. It's a real shame that we lost in the manner we did at Blackburn, because those goals and the goal difference that's hammered us, if we're still in a negative goal difference, and you just hope that don't come back to bite us on the arse. Man of the match for me, I know Ivanovic got it, and he took 2 goals very, very well, and he definitely he had a great game. And look, by the way, I mean, to get 12 goals now, I was listening to the radio in the car on the way home. 21 league starts. Thank you, Mr. Clark. You can always be counted on for your stats. 21 league starts, 11 league goals. That is some return from the Serb. And it just makes you think, if he'd have embedded into the side a little bit earlier, what could have been. There's always buts and maybes. If we had a little bit more belief, as Joe was saying after the game, again, pleasure to meet you, Joe. Or if we were to have not had that period where we were kind of knew Neil Harris was going and Alex Neil coming in, he'd have enjoyed today. Alex Neil beating his former club, by the way. But look, it's always buts and maybes, but you're just looking at it positive in terms of what could have been and what could be for next season. But I think I just made this point. But yeah, Sheffield United paid 10 million for Tom Cannon. He's not scored a goal. That 3 million we invested in Mihailo Ivanovic is starting to look a very, very good bit of business. Wasn't my man of the match, no. I'm going to give my man of the match joint to 2 players. George Saville for his delivery, for the way that he got in people's faces and set the tone and got around the pitch. I thought he was very, very, very good. And Femi Aziz, I thought he was outstanding. Femi Aziz, I'd love to know how many miles he ran. He put in some shift. I thought he was excellent. He was getting the crowd going. He's just so quick and direct, and what a signing and investment. I'm really, really happy for him. Thought he was excellent. Thought Crammer was excellent. I thought Tango was excellent. Sturge had a great game. So lots of good performances. But I would have to probably give joint man of the match to George Saville and Femi Aziz. I hope you've enjoyed your bank holiday weekend. And look, thank you as always for listening. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you again at Swansea. It's going to be some last couple of games of the season, isn't it? Thanks as always again. And of course, bye for now.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison here, and you're listening to Chat with Chaps, chatting Millwall, come rain or shine.